Welcome to the Make Me Whole podcast, where we explore what it means to just live better. I'm your host, Josette Rosado, a proud Latina and licensed therapist, bringing that unique perspective to the conversation. So whether you're looking to deepen your relationships, improve your mental health, or simply just find more joy, this is where you need to be. Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of two things at the same time. We are focused on what it is for us to chase the next thing and not be focusing on the things we already have. We're also going to talk about FOMO. It is a dilemma and why chasing the next best thing may be making you miserable. So let me define FOMO to begin with. Now, as a Gen Xer, I didn't even know what the heck this was for quite some time. But I found out that it stands for fear of missing out. It's that nagging feeling that you're actually missing out on something amazing, something that everyone else is experiencing and you're not. It's the reason why you stay up till 3 o'clock scrolling through your social media feeds just to make sure you're not missing out on anything. FOMO can make us feel like we're not living our lives to the fullest and we're missing out on the fun and the excitement that the world has to offer. But the truth is, FOMO is often based in unrealistic expectations and a distorted view of what reality is. So let's talk a little bit about why we're so prone to FOMO and how it's affecting our overall happiness and well-being. I also want to talk about the ideas of how to break away from the FOMO cycle and learn to appreciate what you have instead of always chasing after that next best thing. So let's start with an example. Have you ever bought the latest iPhone only to find out that the next version is coming out in a few months? I cannot tell you how many times that's happened to me. Or have you ever landed this job that you really love only to start dreaming of an even better one a few months later? We have all been here, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to want to improve our lives. The issue is when this constant chase for something better starts affecting what we consider our self-worth and our ability to enjoy what we already have. It's important to remember that we're not defined by what we have or what we do. We're defined by who we are as individuals. Our own self-worth shouldn't be tied to the things we have, the careers we have, or even the relationships we have. We should be focused on being content with who we are, and what we have, while still striving for personal growth and, of course, development. Another example of always chasing after the next best thing is in our relationships. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing our relationships to others and feeling like we're missing out on something better. We see couples on social media going on extravagant vacations, buying all these expensive gifts, and posting about their seemingly perfect lives. But we forget that these images are just a highlight reel and not a true representation of their relationships. We need to focus on our own relationships and be content with the love and support that we already have. We need to work on building strong and healthy relationships instead of always chasing after something that might not even exist. Let's talk a little bit about self-awareness. Self-awareness is the key to breaking free from the cycle of always chasing after the next best thing. When we're self-aware, we're able to identify our thoughts and emotions and really understand why we feel the way we do. We're able to recognize when we're seeking like that external validation and work on building our own stronger sense of self-worth. Self-awareness also helps us to appreciate the successes we already have achieved in our lives. It's so easy to focus on what we haven't done yet. But we should take the time to reflect on the things we have accomplished, no matter how small they are. It could be finishing a book, starting something new, or even just taking care of our mental health. Another important aspect of being content is practicing gratitude. When we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what we don't have to what we do have. And suddenly, the world becomes a much brighter place. We should take the time to appreciate the small things in life, like a good cup of coffee in the morning, a smile from a stranger, nature, and sunsets, and warm weather. Gratitude also helps us to complain less and do more. My favorite thing to say, right? Instead of focusing on what's wrong in our lives, we should focus on what we can do to make it better. We can't always control what happens, but we can control how we react to it. So, how do we cultivate contentment and satisfaction in our own lives? Well, it starts with taking the small steps every day. We should focus on building strong self-worth, self-love, and not relying on everything outside of us to define us. We should work on developing healthy habits and routines that bring us to our better selves, like meditation, exercise, spending time with the people we love and who lift us up. And in that, it's important to spend that time with those individuals as opposed to those who bring us down. We should also be mindful of the messages we're receiving from social media and focus on consuming that content that inspires us and uplifts us. It's okay to want to improve our lives and strive for something better, but we should not let this consume us and affect who we are or what we think of ourselves. We need to focus on being content with what we have right now, what we've done, what we can do, while still working towards personal growth. We have to practice gratitude. Make sure we're aware of ourselves and surround ourselves with positivity and love. Thank you so much for listening today. I think one of the easiest ways to practice gratitude is literally waking up in the morning or before you go to bed at night and thinking of one thing that went right during that day. It could have been the crappiest day you've ever had, but just taking that moment makes all the difference. All the support that I've received from everyone who's listening to the podcast is one of the things I am totally grateful for, and it keeps me motivated to be here with you. Reach out if you'd like to via email at mmwpodcast.net. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at Make Me Whole Podcast. Remember, complain less and do more. I mean that wholeheartedly. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.